Hello and welcome to the Co-op Live here in Manchester for the launch of a new Betfred Super League season. New faces, new storylines, new frontiers, but the same ambition for 12 clubs to win the Betfred Super League. So we are here at Co-op Live for the launch of the Betfred Super League season. With me for the next 40 minutes or so, we've got Paul Sculthorpe. He's won the grand final on 4 occasions. And we've got the coach of the current champions from Wigan Warriors, Matt Peat. Matt, what a season you had, winning an historic all 4 trophies.
Yeah, it's amazing to reflect on it now with great pride. Some good memories, but it won't count for much this year. And in reflecting on last year, it seems very simple when you've got the trophies, but we more than anyone are aware that there was a lot of very close games. We rode our luck at times, so we're very grateful to have the year we did, but we've got to keep working hard.
We've got to reflect on last year, though. I mean, all 4 is some achievement, not been done in the Super League era before.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I can say firsthand I can see why it's not been done before, because a lot of those games, they're on a knife edge. You have to avoid injuries, or your injuries have to come at the right times. Suspensions, bounce of a ball. So you can be a good team and you can work as hard as you want, but you've got to have luck on your side as well.
Not many changes, Matty, in the squad. It's pretty settled squad. So business as usual.
Hopefully, I think that's a strength of ours, but it's also something that we have to be aware of, that we might need to do things differently to freshen up and keep ourselves on our toes before other teams get us. So we're aware of that, but it should bring some strength in terms of cohesion and understanding.
I think there's quite a lot of long-term planning, isn't there, at Wigan, clearly. And you look at that squad and maybe why there isn't many changes this year. Junior December, Brian threw it up on the main stage. What was his pre-season like? What will change in his game, in his development this year after such a wow of a first year in Super League?
Even myself, there's been a bit of promotional footage gone at this year, and it was only part of the way through last year that Junior got his place through Willie's injury, and I say to myself, who was the fool that wasn't picking him? And we were just trying to time it right, and probably held him back maybe too much, but it turned out well. And he ended up with a long pre-season because he was involved with England. He only returned after the new year fully, but he just seems like he's grown. I think he's almost 20 kilos heavier than he was this time last year, which is amazing. And that's partly through training, but partly just his maturation as an athlete and as a bloke. So he's a pleasure to work with. We've got to continue to look after him. New challenges will come his way, and identify who's the next one to have a year like that. I've seen some signs in Harvey Hill during this pre-season that he's ready to grip this opportunity of this season.
Now, as part of pre-season, you had some special guests from Manchester United, Harry Maguire, Mason Mount and Andre Onana. Now, all 3 of them said to me they were so impressed what a tight unit you've got at Wigan.
Yeah, but I think if they'd gone into a lot of rugby league clubs, they'd have felt that compared to football, if I'm honest. I think rugby league players are humble, they get on, they're very similar in the way they go about the business. A lot of them are from the same areas and kind of backgrounds. So I do think we have a strong team spirit at Wigan, but I think it's something that Paul will tell you it runs through our game in general. So I think it stood out a mile to them, and I must say they were fantastic. Great that Betfred organised that, and they got amongst it.
And you'll be able to see that on the Betfred Super League channels very, very soon. Manchester United at the Wigan Warriors. Right then, we kick off next week, and then at the end of the month, we're going to Vegas. Now, when you took over a couple of years ago, you said that there was going to be a regular Super League game, Wigan Warriors versus Warrington Wolves. What were your thoughts?
I'd have just been happy to still be in a job first and foremost, but no, it's amazing, and the vision and the foresight of the 2 clubs, I think it deserves recognition. It's easy to say that this game doesn't push it and sit at home, watch on with envy, but Rads and Fitzy and the two boards have got their heads together, and my hope is that we can lay the ground for other teams to go in the next few years and keep Super League at the front of this sport. And I am looking forward to it as a coach, but I understand it's going to have some major challenges as well. We've got to represent not just Wigan the right way, but the sport the right way, and I think us and Warrington have to cooperate and put on a show.
How big is this for a sport, this game in Vegas?
It's massive, isn't it? I think the NRL set the tone last year, and now to have a Super League match live over there, and obviously the women's game, the England versus the Gillaroos following that, it's going to be epic for rugby league. And you know what the Americans are like, what the physicality and the sports they love. I don't think they've seen anything yet. And
as a final question, Matt, after winning all 4 last season, what do you go for this year then?
Well, winning all 4 was never the goal, believe it or not. It was the end product of trying to do the right thing day in, day out, and trying to make our fans and supporters proud, trying to make each other proud. So, hopefully we win trophies, but I think at the end of the season we can take pride in what we've done, where we've gone about our work, then we'll be in the mix.
I know you don't like personal praise, but you must take some personal pride as well, what you've done since taking over as coach.
Yeah, I am proud. I won't shy away from it, but I've got to keep working hard, and I'm very aware that I've got a lot of good people around me at board level, in our academy, my staff, the players, most importantly. So, yeah, part of a strong group.
Well, thanks for what you do, and good luck for the new season.
Thank you. Cheers, Scully.
So the new season kicks off for the Wigan Warriors on Thursday the 13th, a game against the Lee Leopards. Let's hear from Lee Leopards, Josh Charnley.
We've built well this year. We've lost a lot of experience in our team this year. We've recruited a lot of young kids, which has made the camp a little bit more competitive, I should say. So yeah, it's looking well. I'm excited for the year ahead. I think I'm the oldest in the team now, which is a bit of a shock. So I've got to try and lead by example. Yeah, we started off really poorly. I think we had a lot of our spine players injured as well through, I think, the first 12 weeks of the season. So we didn't really get off to a good start, but we knew once we had players coming back, we'd start rolling teams, and which it did, and we had to win. I think it was 14 of the last 16 games to get into the playoffs, and we just took each week as it came, and we got the job done. And yeah, I think we can take a lot of confidence from the way that we played, and teams will know that Lee's style of play is a bit of a mind boggle, because we can play from anywhere. We've recruited really well this year. We've seen Davey Armstrong open his legs up on the training paddock. It's good because we need a bit of speed in the team. I've lost my speed now, getting a bit older and a bit heavier. So having someone like him in the team, just excites us. With comparing him and Lockie Lamb together, it's a lethal combo. So hopefully we can start as well as we finished last year.
So the Lee Leopards kick us off on Thursday night away at the Wigan Warriors. But one of the stories of last season was definitely Hull KR, and I'm delighted to be joined by Willie Peters. Willie, good to see you. Look, we've got to reflect on last season. I mean, fantastic to get to the grand final, but obviously fell at the final hurdle.
Yeah, obviously successful year in terms of where we got to, but not in terms of winning silverware. To be truthful, we didn't deserve to. Wigan deserved that. They were the best team in the world. They won all 4 trophies, so thoroughly deserved it. But we weren't far off. So we're proud of what we did, but we've got to build it again now and work our way towards hopefully achieving something this year.
Loads of people loved watching you last year. I know that's very small for you right now, but you were great entertaining rugby at times.
Yeah, I suppose we're in the entertainment business. That's something I learned a long time ago when I was playing, but obviously now that I'm coaching and part of Super League and professional sport, people want to come and see entertaining teams. So we don't want to be a team that just has 5 carries and a kick. We want to ask questions of the opposition. We want to play a certain style that people want to come and watch. We believe we're doing that, but essentially in professional sport, you've got to win footy games, and that's what we aim to do.
I asked you pre-grand final in the press conference at the beginning of 2024. Did you talk about potentially winning trophies? And you said yes. Surely that's a given now.
Yeah. So to be honest, we didn't actually say that we're going to aim to go and win a comp this year, because we've played in the grand finals, we've played in the Challenge Cup. It is it is a given. We want to strive to be playing in those big games, but it takes a lot of work to get there. So we know that we've got to work hard. We've got to build our game again, and we've got to do a hell of a lot before we even think about trophies. But there's no doubt, like 11 other teams in the competition, we certainly want to be lifting silverware.
Yeah, obviously in the main event before with Brian, big Jared Warner-Hargreaves, he's certainly going to bring something to the Betfred Super League, and great to hear that he's not going to change the way he plays. I don't know about good for you, but he's a guy who will certainly lead, by his performance.
Yeah, absolutely. He leads through his actions. Our standards and intensity at training has already gone through the roof with Jared there. We want Jared to be Jared, but like any player, you need to go out in the field, and you need to have some discipline about what you do in terms of playing within the rules. And Jared will do that. Obviously, there'll be times there that he'll cross that line at times, like any other front row in the competition. Any good or great front row in the competition, is always around that line. We play a physical, aggressive game, or the players do. So he won't change in that aspect. But naturally, in terms of the rules, you need to stick by what the rules are.
It's a team game, but you have got one of the superstars, the current man of steel, Mikey Lewis. How important is he to Hull KR?
He's going to be hugely important again this year. For me, again, I said it last year, he's only scratching the surface because he's only young, he's only early 20s. His best rugby's ahead of him, and we certainly hope that we can see a better Mikey Lewis this year. And I've seen in the pre-season that we've got a hungry one. He's improving all the time. He's getting a really good understanding about the game now. So he's developing in that area, and we know what he can do, off the cuff. So looking forward to seeing him grow again.
So, come on, the obvious question, the aim for this season then, to go one better?
Of course it is. But, I know it could be cliche, but, we want to improve. And I think if we improve, then potentially it could be lifting silverware. If we want to stay the same, then teams are going to be hungry and go past us. If we don't improve, then, you can not play semi-finals. So for us, it's about getting better every day. There's no doubt about that.
And the road to silverware starts on Friday night in the Betfred Challenge Cup. A tough draw away at York.
It is a tough draw. We've got a really good championship team. But to be honest, I'm happy with that because I want us to play against a quality outfit, especially going into the Super League the week after. We didn't have any friendlies. We had one friendly in Amsterdam. We played a lot of younger players there. So, we'll be playing our best team available against a very good team. Like always, we'll concentrate on what we can do, but we certainly respect what York can do.
Well, the best of luck for the season. Best of luck on Friday night in the Betfred Challenge Cup. And you can see Willie Peters and Hull KR live in the Sportsman. It's part of our 20 games we are bringing you this season.
Live Rugby League is back on the Sportsman.
Here we go, 80 minutes. Live and exclusive here on the Sportsman.
20 games.
We're still going though. Could score, does score. We've been waiting for a moment of brilliance.
More drama.
Featherstone Rovers win in the most dramatic of circumstances.
More passion.
Incredible scenes here at Haywood Road. Pure joy.
More moments of magic.
Oh, I think he's got that down. That's a remarkable finish.
Subscribe now.
So we've got a live Betfred Challenge Cup double header for you this weekend. Friday night, it's York Knights versus Hull KR. Join us at 7:15, live and exclusive. Then on Saturday lunchtime, it's the Halifax Panthers versus the Catalan Dragons at 11:45. So a double header of Betfred Challenge Cup action. And I'm joined by a coach who'll be taking his team to Whitehaven in the Betfred Challenge Cup this weekend. Straight into it, Sam, isn't it, in the Challenge Cup?
Yeah, well, it's come around a week earlier this year, so we're looking forward to going to Whitehaven. We've got a few Cumbrians in our makeup, so they're looking forward to getting back home. It'll actually be great for the game there. We're looking forward to getting a good performance out there. And they'll be. I watched them a couple of weeks ago, plenty of effort, so it'll be great contest.
It'll be a decent test ahead of the Betfred Super League, won't it?
Yes, yeah, it certainly will. Yeah, I mean. Our challenge is to get our game on the field and put a good performance forward. A few guys there that are fighting for round one shirts. So there's good opportunity both sides of the field.
Good run out of weekend. I was there for Toby's testimonial game.
Yeah.
Do you read much into performances? Or?
Not really. This time of year, I mean, obviously we need to get the job done on the Challenge Cup on the weekend. A bit of the trial games are trial, friendlies are friendlies for us, so I really don't read too much into it. What I like to see is things we've worked on in pre-season, see if we can put them into motion. And we did a couple of things. A bit disappointed with some effort stuff. A couple of our younger boys, they found that out in the week. But no, don't read too much into the result. Look at the performance, really.
Looking at last season, for big parts of the season, you were the team to beat. Fell off at the business end of the year. Is that a mindset thing? Is that anything that you've worked on over pre-season?
Yeah, not really. I mean, look, our last 3 games in the league, we didn't concede a try. So defensively, we felt we're in a good area. But in the finals, we probably, especially in the first final against St Helens, we were probably slipped up. We weren't at our best. But I thought from a 6-day turnaround to travel to Hull KR, we showed some great spirit, to stay in that contest, because we knew they were coming off 15 days and we were 6 days in from a Golden Point game. And a couple of conversions and a dubious awarded try, let's just leave it at that. They could have gone either way. So I was really happy with our effort and everything like that. We just got to tidy up a few areas which we've been working on.
Best defence and best attack last year. So there's got to be a lot of positives going into this season.
The great stats, but they won us nothing. So it puts you in good areas. Okay, I think when you're consistently improving in areas and being able to defend errors and penalties, which every team gives away, then it gives you a better chance to win games, ultimately trophies. So. That was a good start, but it didn't win us anything. Now it's time to double down on that and try and convert it into something that the club can hold on to.
You sat here this time last year with me and Scully. You won't tell us what your aims were as a coach.
Yeah.
You're going to tell us what your aims are
Well,
this year?
no, I'm not going to tell you again this year. So that's it. I'm tight-lipped. But no, we're looking to get better. So it's not hard to work it out. We finished 3rd, and we got to one final and narrowly missed another one, so we want to get better than that.
And looking ahead, it's going to be the Luke Littler Stadium for the game against the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, well, let's hope he leaves his darts at home. We don't need him throwing them at the stadium, do we? But he's he's been such an inspirational guy for so many, especially around Warrington. His courage in big moments. He just attacks the board, really, doesn't he? So. I think it's a fitting tribute for Luke. He's a bit of a local hero. I think it's hard for him to walk around Warrington Town Centre these days and get to games. But like I say, it's fitting accolade, and obviously it's great for the club, great for Luke, and great for the town.
And he's a proper Warrington fan, isn't he? He's a proper rugby league fan.
Yeah, he's comes into training. He's had breakfast with the team. He loves it. I think he's been a season ticket holder his whole life. So he's a proper fan. I think he's close with a few of the local boys. He's good friends with them. So. Yeah, it's good to have him involved.
And the fixture computer, you're going to be up against your brother in the first game.
Yeah, was that? I thought that was a draw from a hat, isn't it? Yeah, okay, right. So people put those together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's just something different for the family. I've played against my older brother, and the twins have played each other, but I've never really come up against them in any competitive capacity. So we're looking forward to it.
Who's really impressed you pre-season? Who should we look out for in the Wolves this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, you got to keep your eye on George Williams. He's looked pretty good all pre-season. He looked good last pre-season, but there's something a bit different about him this year. So we'll see if that transfers, but I don't see why not. He's in great nick. Another one, Danny Walker's had a good pre-season. He's starting to understand who he is and his influence in the group. So, I think they'll both have some good seasons. From a roughie, you like the roughies. Aaron Lindop, good young centre. He's an exciting player, and most of all, he's a great young lad. So, I think he'll have a bit of a breakthrough year.
And at the end of the month, it's Las Vegas. How good is that?
Viva! Yeah. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great experience for all of us. The game. Are you going over, boys?
Hopefully.
Yeah, come on.
As we going.
Yeah, I think the boys need to go, guys. Betfred, get them over there. But no, we're looking forward to it. It's great for the game, and the whole week's going to be an experience. For the players, for the fans. So we're going to soak it all up, and important we keep the main thing. We get left to do a job and put on a good show.
Well, Sam, thanks for joining us. Good luck for the season. We'll hopefully see you in Vegas as well. And let's hear from his brother Tom, who has signed for the Huddersfield Giants.
I wanted to come over and, do something over here, not just make up numbers. And I saw a squad here at Huddersfield with potential. They weren't too far off a couple of years ago in the Challenge Cup, and they can definitely put points on. And, we've got some good quality in the team. So it was definitely a decision I made on a few factors. Coming back to where I'm from originally was one of them, and so that was quite appealing to me to be able to bring my family back here and live 10 minutes down the road from where I grew up, and that sort of thing was appealing. And then also Huddersfield being a good club, great owner in Ken Davey, and obviously they had a few problems last year and coaches in and out and that sort of thing, but I think Robbo's come in and he's really he's got a fresh take on everything and plenty of enthusiasm. So I'm really excited about the season ahead. We've already had a bit of banter, obviously, playing in round one, so it sets up nicely for a first game. It's different obviously now. I've played against my other two brothers in games, but never played against Sam, so I can tick this one off, at least playing against him as a coach. But I just keep giving it to him, saying he's too old to be out there anyway now, so it doesn't matter.
Great to see Tom Burgess back in the Betfred Super League. Also back in the Super League is Daryl Powell. Daryl, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Great to see you back in the Super League. What does that mean?
Well, a good opportunity for a club that's rebuilt itself over last year. Really had an unbelievable season in the Champ. Won everything, and the grand final performance was an unbelievable performance. So it just means we get an opportunity to rebuild, rebrand, regrow the club, and get in the Super League and see how good we can be.
It was fantastic, that Championship grand final. Great scenes afterwards as well, great celebrations, and also meant a lot to the owner. He's invested a lot to get you back in the Super League, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he's invested a lot in a lot of things. If you walk into the stadium now, it's completely different. The stand had been started before, but he's done a whole host of things inside there to make it an elite environment, really, for fans and players alike. Behind, the Benidorm Flats are gone behind, but they are an elite sort of facility now as well, whether that's for players or for sponsors in the boxes. So the whole vibe's changed around the club, not just on the field, but off the field as well.
As disappointing as it was, Darryl, sorry, Bart, getting relegated in 2023, was that kind of looked at a bit of a reset for the club? And you look what they're doing, what you did in 24 on the field, and what's happened off the field. It's really a club that's buzzing, and you must take a lot of confidence going into this season.
Yeah, when just before Matt took over the club, he came to see me and offered me the position if he took over, which he then did, obviously. And then so we had no coaching staff at all. We had minimal amount of players who were pretty demoralised. So to take it from there and grow it to where it is now, get all the staff on board, get a group of players who could do what they did last year, and then retain a lot of them into this year. It's a great recruitment job. It's a great job from the owner to do what he's done, and the coaching staff have done pretty good as well. So we feel like we're a club with a lot of confidence about us, but we know there's going to be some challenges. We're going into an elite competition, and the fixture planners have gone, there you go, there's the toughest start that you can have. But look, we just got to get on with it. We know it's going to be difficult at times, but we feel like if we stay healthy-ish, we aren't really deep with young players like some of the other clubs at the top end of Super League. But we're in a great place. We've got a real buzz about us. Our last performance against Castleford was outstanding, I thought, particularly with the ball. So we've got some confidence about us. We're not going to die waiting, that's for sure. We're going to get after teams, and I think that's what we need to be, really positive in everything that we do.
And you're on the up, the Championship Grand Final win, but a Wembley win as well, the 1895 Cup. That was a brilliant experience.
Yeah, and I think for me the most pleasing thing was two of our best performances last year were in finals. So it shows there's there's a steel about us when it comes to the big occasion. So that Toulouse game, and they belted us away from home, and then it did give us a bit of motivation for that game. But ultimately, we shut them out, we belted them in every facet of the game, and it was really pleasing to see a group of blokes do what they did against the other full-time team in the comp. So. We feel like we've got a lot about us. We feel like we've got a lot of motivated players, whether they've been relegated before or they haven't played in Super League or they're reinvigorating their careers. Our spine looks phenomenal, I think.
Tom Johnson back home as well.
And Tom's come home, yeah. So, and that's one of the things that we don't want to be losing players who've come through the Wakefield system. Corey Hall's come back to Wakefield as well. We want to make sure that we keep players when they come through our system. We're working hard on our youth development as well, which is obviously important. All the best clubs in the comp have got elite youth development systems. So, we want to be the full package as a club, and we feel like we're in a good place working towards that.
You've experienced the highs and lows of the Super League in your coaching career. So, what did you learn from last year?
Well, last year was an interesting one.
Was it a nice break from it in many respects?
Well, it was a chance to rebuild and reset without being under the glare. We were going away to Whitehaven and Barrow and at Batley on the slope, and it was almost like it's reconnecting with where we've all come from. You know what I mean? And I thought clubs wanted us there because we took a load of fans. Our fan base was unbelievable. So that was awesome. Really, we could just connect with our community and our group, grow strong bonds whilst we're winning every week. We lost a couple of games, but it really set us up. I think we've set a great foundation for ourselves. We know it's not going to be like that this year, where you're winning every week, and in some ways for our owners I think that'll be a challenge in itself, because all they've ever seen is winning. But ultimately we've set ourselves a foundation to go and just go and attack the competition.
Do you see a buzz around the fans, obviously ahead of the season?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think if you look at that at the end of last season, that grand final was phenomenal. It was quite an iconic moment actually when Jerry kicks that. I don't know if you've seen it. Jerry kicks a goal from the sideline. I just said if he kicks this, it's going to erupt, and so the whole stadium is singing Jerry, 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 and the place itself was a special place. And if we can get those ones, and Wakefield's always been a difficult place to go for away fans, it looks a bit nicer now than it did in the past. But we've got to make it so it's one of those places that is really difficult to come to.
No, I watched your game live on the Sportsman. It was fantastic. You played brilliant. Look, it's great to see you back in the Super League, and good luck for the season.
Thank you.
Well, staying in the Super League, but he's gone back to Leeds, is Ryan Hall.
In the blue and amber again. So I enjoy my time, obviously, doing what I did prior to this, but I'm glad to be home now, because it is home, really. I'm a Leeds lad. I've obviously played for Leeds for 12 years prior to, at the start of my career. And I'm enjoying it. All the lads, have welcomed me back. I've got my familiar spots within the change room and around the training venue. And speaking to the lads about previous years, what they've experienced and what we're doing this year in pre-season, it's all the tunes are playing the right notes, because they've all said it's quite hard, and that's what you really want. I've been really impressed. Like I said prior, it's tough, and that's what you want, but you don't want to be blindly running, just for the sake of running. He's added some direction with it. He said we'll be doing X, Y, Z. For the reasons of X, Y, Z, so it all makes sense, and there's a reason why we're doing stuff, and that's what you want as a player. You want to know, we know what the outcome is, what we want to try to achieve. Let's all try and work towards it, the best we can. And that's when you get to some dark places mentally, when you're running for the training time on the field, is a lot longer than what it would be in season. So you get to little conversations within your head, but like I said before, it's you're going in the right direction, and there's purpose behind it. So it's good. I think he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, great to see Ryan Hall back at Leeds at the age of 37. Right, we're going to now turn our attention to St Helens. I'm delighted to be joined by the head coach, Paul Wellens. Paul, how are you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Pre-season, are we up for it?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a really enjoyable pre-season. And by enjoyable, I mean it's been tough, but I'm really fortunate that I feel like I've got a group of players who enjoy working hard for each other. I suppose most coaches and most teams would say similar around this time of year. I suppose the acid test is when you start playing.
How tough was last year?
It was challenging at times, I'm not going to lie. Obviously very difficult circumstances that we found ourselves at various points throughout the course of the year, but I am a firm believer that sometimes you learn your biggest lessons in those moments, and I feel that myself personally and the playing group have done exactly that.
How are the new boys looking over pre-season? Three great signings.
Yeah, they've all settled in really well. I think first and foremost because they're all really nice people, so they've integrated themselves into the squad perfectly. But they're also quality individuals on the field as well. I think that's obviously the overriding message is that we sign good players, and we feel that in Lewis, Kyle, and Tristan, we've got 3 players that are going to add a lot to our game.
I think a lot of the talk, obviously, pre-season was the half-back situation. Obviously, Tristan coming in, does Jack Wellsby move up? Harry Robertson, who obviously shone last year. What's your thoughts ahead of the season?
Yeah, so I've had discussions with both Tristan and Jack, and credit to them both. Certainly make my job easy in both saying that they're happy to play wherever I see fit. So we've got a bit of a plan there going forward. Harry's shown that he's more than capable of doing a good job there as well. Obviously, Johnny Lomax has got the 7 squad number, so potential to play in the halves. Moses and Mbai has shown he can do a great job in the halves as well, and young George Whitby is someone who's really knocking on the door as well. So we feel we're well equipped there. We've got a number of options, and that's a great headache for me as a coach to have.
Look, we all know about the rivalry between you and Wigan. Did that make last year harder with what Wigan did?
No, I wouldn't say so. We've got our own journey that we're going on, and obviously Wigan have been successful, and credit to them. Our rivalry is well documented, and we love that rivalry. Both Scully and I have played in those games in the past.
It's what sports is all about, isn't it?
We love locking horns against Wigan, and likewise them against us. So I think Saints need a strong Wigan need a strong Saints, and Rugby League needs that as well.
Pre-season friendly against Salford, obviously got them week 1. Take anything from that game? Anything learned?
I think we took a little bit from it. First and foremost, getting out there and just getting the kits on, running around, making tackles and whatnot again. There's a few things that come out of the game which we feel that we need to tidy up, but it was the perfect time to get those lessons. Look, we're trying to implement a few different things into our game, not drastic wholesale changes, but a few areas both with and without the ball where we feel we can evolve, and that gave us an opportunity to look at that and then make those adjustments again.
So as we approach the start of the season, and as Scully's mentioned, it's Salford at home. What have you said to the lads then? What is the aim for St Helens this year?
I think for us as a club, it's always been in and around the big games. I think it's unrealistic to set targets that you feel that you're going to win everything every year. It just doesn't happen in any sport. But we pride.
I mean, what you did for that 4 years on the bounce was incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible to be a part of as well. And what I'm very conscious of now is that I think where we probably lacked last year was consistency of performance. So we'd show 1 week we could do it, and then we'd go a couple of weeks where we weren't quite at it. That's something that we need to address if we want to be successful. We've got to be more consistent, and if we get that this year, I'll be very proud as a coach.
Well, appreciate you coming on, and appreciate your honesty as well, and good luck for the season.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Paul Wellens there, well at the place, Salford. First of all, let's get some thoughts from the Salford camp and hear from Jaden Nikarima.
It was a bit of a disrupted year, 24, a year that I didn't see coming. Obviously started in France and then ended up in Salford, but blessed to have this opportunity, and with this pre-season that it's nearly finished now, gone through, it's been a one where I've learned a lot about myself and about the kind of player that I want to be, and got a lot of reps with my half partner Sneedy as well, so I'm excited for the season ahead. It's every kid's dream. When I was a 9-year-old, all I wanted to do was attack, and that's what Salford do. They like putting teams on the back foot with your attack, so exciting. Not just that, their crowd's unbelievable. Their fans are crazy, if I can say that. Very passionate, and it's something that made me love the sport even more, is seeing how passionate they are about this club. So it's every team's ambition to win the grand final but finish top 4 nonetheless. So we've definitely got our goals set for what we want to do in this 25 season, and it's nothing short of, it's more than what we've achieved last year. So yeah, I guess we always claim that underdog tag or get put at the bottom 4 or the bottom half of the ladder, usually by the experts, but we see ourselves better than that.
So Jaden Nikarimov saying he signed for Salford because of the kind of rugby they play. And looks like this week we're going to have some positive news off the pitch. It looks like Salford have got new owners, fingers crossed, and it's going to get announced this week.
Great news for Salford, great news for the game, and I think it's what the club needed. There's been a lot of uncertainty, I think, for a number of months about Salford and rumours that they're going to have to sell players. Last thing they wanted. And I think, you know, the fans, Paul Rowley and the playing staff deserve it. I think they've been massive overachievers in the past few years and one of the most entertaining teams to watch.
And talking about new owners, we've got new owners at Hull FC.
Yeah, great to see the investment, and you know, it starts with John Cartwright as well, head coach. I think a massive capture for Hull FC, and knowing John from his playing days, he'll certainly change the culture and the mentality of that club.
Well, let's hear from one of our new signings who said he wants to test himself in the Super League. It's Jordan Rapana.
It's I've always wanted to come over to test myself in the Super League, but just knowing when the right time was, and obviously my contract came to an end at Canberra and got an opportunity to come and thought, why not? I've been at the club in Canberra for almost 12 years, so it kind of became my home away from home, and it definitely was time for a change, and coming to a new club with a new bunch of boys, but obviously also being coached by Cardi again and being in a team with Aidan Caesar, who I've played with for quite some time, was some familiar faces, made that transition a lot easier. We've, as you said, we've recruited well. We've got a lot of young, up-and-coming young guns coming through the ranks, and but I feel as though Cardi's recruited well with a lot of experience, and hopefully that's the right remedy. You get a good mix of experience and young boys together. Hopefully that can filter out throughout the squad, and we can get the results. I know football's huge here, like soccer, but I was actually really surprised that, walking through the town centre of Hull, how big rugby league is, and people recognising you and getting stopped for photos and whatnot, and you can just see the passion that they have. I was stopped multiple times, by FC fans, but they didn't really care how the season was. They just made sure that, they said to me, make sure you don't lose to those red and whites. So, I'm looking forward to that derby between the two Hull teams. You can see how passionate the Hull fans are, and looking forward to it.
So plenty of change at Hull FC and plenty of change at the Castleford Tigers, and I'm delighted to be joined by their new head coach, Danny Maguire. Danny, you know all about the Super League, but why Cass?
The opportunity came around at the back end of last season. I was just getting prepared to do my assistant. I'd been there a year as an assistant coach, and I really enjoyed it. It was a tough year, challenging year, and obviously the new owner came about and the opportunity arose, and I think you need to be in the right place at the right time sometimes, and I'm loving it, loving the challenge, loving being a leader, loving being in charge of the group, so things are going really well, as they always do in pre-season, Scully.
Mate. What's the difference in, obviously, you learned your trade as an assistant, obviously spent your time at Hull KR and then Cass. Now, Danny, you're one of my favourite Super League players. What philosophies of Danny Maguire's playing days are you taking into your coaching?
Great question. I think it's a bit of everything, to be honest with you. A bit of everything that I've picked up from players, coaches, experience. I think the biggest thing for your players is to enjoy what you do. You've got to love what you do. If you don't love it, you're not going to get the best. You're not going to maximise their potential. They're not going to play well for you on a weekend. So they've got to love what they do. They've got to work hard. They've got to be committed. They've got to show that commitment with their actions through the week. And then, I want them to express themselves. I want them to... The reason that they are professional rugby players is because they're good.
We're going to see the old classic Cass then.
I think you've got to earn that. I really do. I think the classic cast stuff, I'm all for it. I'm all for attractive rugby league. I want to entertain, but that's got to be combined with a mindset of toughness and defence and the ability to be able to, if you're going to throw the ball about, you've got to be able to defend your line. We didn't quite get that right last year, so defensively and effort-wise, we need to be a bit better. So if we can combine the two, we'll be in a good place.
Now, you've worked under some fantastic coaches, some very successful coaches as well. Have you taken little bits from all these coaches? And
I think that's just experience, and I think that's what you do. I've been lucky to have been coached by and played with some of the best players that I've ever played in this competition. So I think you're always stealing little bits, little ideas, and and that's the way I go about things. I've got my own little ideas and ways that I'd like to do things, and I feel like I'm pretty honest and got a good relationship with all my players. But ultimately, I think our game's pretty simple. It's not, we've seen over the years coaches try and reinvent the wheel at times, and it just don't work. Our game's been going 100 and plus years, and it's just about being tough and working hard.
Yeah, and telling the players to enjoy themselves.
Yeah,
professional sportsmen at the end of the day.
They've got to love what you do, and some of them get paid decent money, some not so much, and you've got to enjoy it. You've got to love what you do, and they are in a fortunate position, most of them, and try and tell them that every day.
Is there any specific goals, Danny, that you've set for this year on what looks like success, or is it about that week to week, continuously working hard, improvement?
Yeah, I think you just nailed it then. We want to improve on last year. We want to improve. I think we want to compete. We had some games last year where we were competing and we were strong, but not enough. Not enough of them. It were too inconsistent, and one of the things we're driving this year is a bit more consistency, not just in our performance, but in everything that we do. If we get that, I think we can surprise a few people. I believe not many people give us a chance, but within the group, we're quietly confident we can shake it up a little bit.
You got a tough start in the Betfred Super League, haven't you? Hull KR away.
Yeah, I mean,
which obviously you know all about as well.
I feel that's probably the toughest fixture away from home. I think maybe apart from Wigan. I think it's a really good place to play. I mean, I love my time at KR. I absolutely loved it. Tough when I first got there, and I'm really proud that I left it in a better position when I left. But yeah, they're a great club. They're doing some really good things. Willie's a fantastic coach. Got some of the best players in the competition now. In my little mate Mikey Lewis, he's thriving. He's absolutely killing it. So it's probably the hardest game, but why not? Why not get thrown in there straight away? And it'll give me a good indication of where my players are at and where we are as a team as well.
And you've got a proper test this weekend in the Betfred Challenge Cup away at Bradford.
Yeah, love it. I used to love playing at Bradford, and obviously the days then Bradford Saints games when Scully was playing, and the Bradford Leeds games were sensational 20 years ago. So I think Oddsall's tough. The pitch is tiny and the stadium's not in the best shape, but that's good. That's a challenge. As a player, I used to love that. I used to think when it was tougher, that's when I wanted to play my best, and that's my challenge for the players this week.
So final question, have you enjoyed it so far?
Loved it, and still, get excited getting up every morning. I'm excited and looking forward to trying to work with the players and trying to influence the players and help the club and Castleford grow.
Well, the best of luck for the season.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Right, it's a whistle-stop tour of all our Betfred Super League clubs, and let's finish with the Catalan Dragons.
I think we're ready. We're even more motivated because last year we didn't have the season we wanted, and this year is new, fresh, new energy, new opportunities. So yeah, we train hard during the pre-season, and we just want to play now, test us, and just go back on the good way. And we're ready. The last few years, the club has really stepped up, improved. And now it's a big club, so that's why last year we were really disappointed, because we really wanted to make the playoff and go all the way, but that's happened in it's life of a club. Sometimes you not reach your goal, but what's important is the response this year and what we're gonna do now. I think we really put our pride on the field, and we want to make sure that no one come and have easy game, and we want to win them all at home, especially for our fans. And yeah, that's really important for us. Defend our home, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do this year again.
So we've had insight to all 12 clubs now in the Betfred Super League, and you can see the Catalans in action in our double header in the Betfred Challenge Cup this weekend. It starts on Friday night. We have the York Knights versus Hull KR. The coverage starts at 7:15, live and exclusive. Then at 11:45 on Saturday lunchtime, it's the Halifax Panthers versus the Catalan Dragons. Good luck to all the teams in the Betfred Challenge Cup, but we're here today to launch the Betfred Super League. Paul Sculthorpe's been alongside me for the last 40 minutes or so. Right then, Scully, hopes, dreams, excitement. Everyone's pre-season's gone well, that's what we always say. I think it's a big season for your old club, Saints, isn't it?
It's a massive season for Saints. I think, you know, massively disappointing last year. Paul Williams seems confident. You know, three new signings that you know, has brought a lot of life into the Saints attack, and we'll see how they go. But it's certainly whetted the appetite today, and seeing all the new signings, the new faces, new coaches, you know, in the Betfred Super League, and I'm really excited now to see that first kick-off.
Wigan Warriors are the favourites to win the grand final, and look, outstanding coach, outstanding squad, had an outstanding season. They are. If you beat Wigan, you're going to win the grand final.
Yeah, definitely so, and rightly so. The favourites to do that. They're just doing everything right, aren't they, on and off the field. And Matty Pete, who's a good friend of mine, he's just a people person, and he's clearly getting the best out of his players. You know, they've got a lot of long-term planning at Wigan. You know, they've timed players and coaches up on long-term deals. There's just that stability within the club, and it tells. You know, got some great young players that, you know, we've seen likes of June and December last year. They were only going to get better.
And Hull KR had a great season. I think it's going to be interesting this year, see where Leeds are at, see where Warrington are at. I think it's going to be a fascinating season.
It's going to be fascinating because there is a lot of the unknown, like you say, Hull FC, Leeds. Nobody knows what you're going to get. They're all talking about great pre-seasons, and you know, the coaches have come in and changed things. We'll see.
And as a final point, I actually made it in my speech here on the launch day. We need to be loud and proud about this sport, don't we? We're going to Vegas, we've got a Lute Littler Stadium, we've got a brilliant sport. We need to be loud and proud.
We certainly do, and I know we're biased because we're part of it, but it's the best game in the world. And when you've got guys like Adam Mills, you know, who's the new Rugby League president, up there and shouting about it and telling his friends, we just need more of it. And it's get people to the games, because I don't know anybody who's ever been to a Rugby League game and not enjoyed it.
Well, thanks so much, Scully. Scully be with us throughout the season. So the Betfred Super League starts on Thursday, the 13th of February. It's your champions, Wigan Warriors versus the Lee Leopards. Enjoy your Rugby League.
Live Rugby League is back on the Sportsman.
Here we go, 80 minutes. Live and exclusive here on the Sportsman.
20 games.
We're still going though. Could score, does score. We've been waiting for a moment of brilliance.
More drama.
Featherstone Rovers win in the most dramatic of circumstances.
More passion.
Incredible scenes here at Haywood Road. Pure joy.
More moments of magic.
Oh, I think he's got that down. That's a remarkable finish.
Subscribe now.